Hi, Rosie, and welcome to
Hello,
the podcast. I'm super excited to have you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm super excited to be here.
Oh, this is nerve-wracking for both of us because this is officially my first podcast interview. Um, and yeah, Rosie's first one too, right?
Yeah, first podcast interview.
So we're
All
both,
stepping out of our comfort zones.
both newbies together. It kind of feels weird that we're doing a podcast interview, chatting with each other on Zoom. But you know what? We're both stepping out of our comfort zone and trying something new. So let's start by introducing you, Rosie. So this is Rosie Browett, and I've worked with Rosie over the last year. I think it's been now. Um, and Rosie is an Australian service pattern designer and artist. Rosie, do you want to tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, what kind of art you do as well?
Yeah, I'm a surface pattern artist, and but I also have a love for creating like animal characters as well. I can't choose between the two, so sometimes it's like I've got to do these animal characters because they're just cute and fun, and then I've got to expand out into my art where I like to do a little bit of whimsicalness and cuteness and floralness and just all those things
All of the things. So how long
and a
have you
lot of color.
yeah, a lot of color. Yeah, which is why, I'm drawn to all of your art, of course. um, so how long have you been an artist? Tell us about your art journey because have you always been an artist or have you done other things?
I've definitely always been creative, and I think that stems from like right from when I was little. My my parents always had opportunities for me to get crafty. I remember from an early age of drawing, but also getting into the cardboard and the glue and the paint.
Yeah.
And then a bit later on, I really got into the textile side of things and playing around with fabrics and beads and all that sort of thing, but continuing to draw. Drawing's always been a big part of what I do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, at
So
one point when,
sorry
sorry,
to
yeah,
interrupt you. Yeah. So drawing traditionally in the sense like pen and paper drawing or
yeah, it used to be a lot of pen and paper. Um, when I first really probably started my journey to where I am now is when I first started drawing 100+ duck characters.
oh cool.
And that stems from a story of me rowing around a river in pink gumboots, and I was dancing at the time,
Yeah.
and I had this character, and I became this character who wore pink gumboots, and I draw this little cute duck with these pair of cute gumboots in it, and I was telling my friends about it, and they said, "Oh, can you do this duck and that duck?" So these duck characters just exploded, and I had a go at then thinking, oh, how can I share my ducks with the world? How can I put them on products? And I mucked around with putting them on mugs and stickers and explored markets. And I got a great response from people.
Oh, that's so cool. So it kind of just evolved. It's
It did, it evolved. And a lot of then was character design and characters, and particularly ducks. The ducks
yeah,
weren't for everybody, but
yeah,
a lot of people were like, oh, do you have this duck? Do you have that duck? Oh, if you have that duck, I'd love to get it on like a mug or something because I
yeah.
also know, yeah, it's sort of thing. But
Oh, that's cool. And what about how did you get into surface pattern design? Or do you want to explain what surface pattern design is, if people don't
first,
really know what that is?
yeah,
Hmm.
sure. Surface pattern design. Pretty much, if you look around your house or in your wardrobe, there is art everywhere. That's why we're attracted to buying certain things because it's got something pretty on it, and
Yep.
it's not plain or black and white or brown,
Hmm.
but it's we go to our wardrobe, especially if we like wearing color,
Yep.
and we pick out an outfit because it's got color on it or it's got pattern, or our house, our furnishings, our cushions have color on it, our bedding has color on it, but even our mugs and our water bottles. Um, and I kind of fell into surface pattern design because I had been started creating these characters, but I started drawing other elements around it. And I thought one day, could I turn it into a pattern? And a surface pattern is basically where you take an illustration and you create a repeating tile. So you need a repeating tile so it can repeat itself and then be printed on fabric.
Yeah. So it looks
or any
seamless, not
surface.
like a
Yeah,
whole
seamless.
heap of little drawings on one surface, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so that
Um,
whole surface pattern thing fascinates me. And, as you know, Rosie, I've tried myself and it's much harder than it looks. Much harder than it looks. So I applaud you for being able to do it and be able to create it so seamlessly, pardon the pun.
yeah, well, it's something I fell into in the sense that I one day decided, oh, I could turn this koala illustration and with some leaves and turn it into this. I thought, can I create a repeating pattern that would work on fabric?
Yeah.
Because I've always loved fabric as well. Like Spotlight's been one of my favorite places to go and just touch all the fabrics and things. um, and I thought I'd love to make my own fabrics. Um, but yeah, I created this repeating pattern and I shared it in my groups and on my page at the time. And I got this really big response back. And they were like, oh, have you ever thought about licensing and putting it on fabric? And I was like, what the heck is licensing? So I was like, how do you price for licensing? And then, yeah, I had to dig a little bit deeper and work out what I would do at the time.
Yeah.
And I had about 3 different people asking over it.
Yeah.
I ended up over the 3 different companies and things, licensing out 40 different designs and fabrics. And then I had the fun of having makers buy those fabrics and
Yeah.
then tag me in their post to say, look, I've made this cute little reusable nappy or this little dress or there were a few other things. It was just fun having it come back and then seeing your designs actually made into things.
Yeah. Oh, I know that feeling. I know that
Yeah.
feeling. Yeah, it's great. It's great that you can actually see. And that's one of my favorite parts of sewing. I mean, I don't do the designs myself, but yeah, that's my favorite part of sewing is turning something super flat into this wearable piece of art. And the bonus of it having actual art on it is just
Yeah.
so much fun, I reckon. And it's different, like, because it's not, your basic stripes or spots or, it's different. It's you stand out and it sets you apart from everybody else, right? Being able to wear.
Yeah, and I think a big part of my mind, like, because I always go towards the imagination, and I guess that stems from my cute animals in dress up.
Mm.
Like fashion always, I was thinking about it. It's always had a whimsical side to my ideas, and
Mhm.
whether I was creating things for myself with fabric and then into my characters wearing dress up things,
Yeah.
later on it's like, oh, I can actually create fabric that has cute things like watermelon rainbows and
Yeah.
clouds, but
Mhm.
turned it into something extra fun because I'm like, I don't know, I was in Kmart the other day and I was looking around and you walk through the little girly kitty section. I'm like, why can't I have
Yep.
tights that look like that or a little cute t-shirt or something that has something fun on it?
Yep.
And I just want to be able to bring that to people because I reckon there are adults out there that
Yeah.
love wearing a bit of color and fun.
There
Or
totally
is it just
are.
me?
No, no. Oh gosh, of course it's me as well. Actually, I saw something on that just the other day on social media. I was reading something. I think she was maybe like an earring maker or something, and say exact same thing is how come like at some point it stops and it just becomes this bland, plain colors. I better just kind of blend in. But why can't we be, 30, 40, 50, however old we are, and still have those fun, sparkly things or the fun prints or the colorful designs? Because I don't know. It feels like there's like this limitation from society that you're a grown up now. You've got to behave like a grown up
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can't, dress up. And, I think within all of us, that little 8, 9-year old is kind of still there wanting to play dress ups and Yeah, well, it is with me anyway. Do you still?
It definitely is with
I know.
me.
Yeah. Oh, so
I'm
I'm.
I'm
You
I'm
keep
the
going.
girl. Yeah, I'm the girl who, like I said back when I was talking about my duck characters, and I had these pink gumboots.
Yeah.
I'm the girl that wears the pink gumboots, and I've had several pairs of pink gumboots. And on those pink gumboots in particular, one of the pairs, I had to shop in the kids section to find
Okay.
them.
Yep.
My size, what my size, like I'm a standard size 8 for a lady, and what my size would be in kid size. So I went exploring for kid gum boots because I wanted something pink and
Yeah.
sparkly. I didn't want something black or
No,
maybe a little
green.
bit purple or green. I'm just like,
Yeah.
one of my ultimate dreams would be to have my designs go on gum boots one day. So if anyone's out there listening,
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's
get
make
in
that
touch.
happen. I also want gum boots for bigger size feet because I've got size 12 feet.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating trying to find pretty shoes that, that I can wear that are comfortable, but also that fit my feet properly. So I often have to shop in the men's section, and that's even more boring than the adult ladies
Yeah.
section,
So they need to have an adult brand that's into color and fun patterns.
Yeah. Well, there is
There's
some
a
Mary.
market there.
You should contact Mary people, I reckon. They have the best colourful boots, but I wonder if they would do, if they're
Fantastic.
listening, we should put that out there to the universe. Oh, that's cool. So, speaking of fashion, so your fashion style, so you mentioned that you love to wear gum boots, and so when you're dressing, because I often talk about dopamine dressing. So for me, like dopamine dressing is, putting something on that makes you feel good. It doesn't necessarily have to be super bright, colorful, or sparkly, but you're
Yeah.
dressing for your mood, right? So how do you incorporate that into your fashion wardrobe, dopamine dressing?
Yeah, well, definitely I have there are days that you just want comfort.
Yeah.
You wake up and you just want to put a messy bun up
Yep.
and walk around in your PJs and your slippers, or wear a dressing gown if it's winter.
Yep.
But there are also days like to have some colorful pieces in my wardrobe. Like I'm particularly love color, and but it's not just about any piece. It's about having pieces that you want to wear over and over and over, and they make you feel happy when you put them on, or you feel like, yes, I'm going out today and I want to feel particularly happy and sparkly. I'm going to put on my my most fun thing, but it's like my yeah. I'm trying to think of
So
the words.
what part of, like, what is the thing, do you think, for you? What's the thing that makes you feel happy? Is it get the ability to get dressed up, do you think, or is it the actual color or the print or a mixture of all of that? What do you reckon?
I think it's a mixture, but
Hmm.
as a mum now too,
Yep,
comfort's in there as well. I
totally.
particularly love overalls,
Yep.
and if they have pockets, that's an added bonus because
Mm-hmm.
your kids are always handing you little things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you have pockets to put them in. But yeah, comfort but fun.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then like an outfit can be as simple as chucking on your colorful, fun pair of overalls and t-shirt, but then
Yeah.
sometimes you can dress it up with a belt or add some earrings or a scarf to
Yeah.
like accessorize it,
Yeah.
and then you can feel all more like sparkly.
Yeah, I love that. It's my favorite thing to do. Start with something plain, like a plain base, as in a t-shirt or something, and then just keep adding. Yeah, layer it up.
And I think it brings it brings a certain energy too because you feel happy
True.
and you feel everything, but then you go out and you people see you in that color and they feel happy, or they
Yeah.
have to say something because like, wow, I want to be that person but I don't know how. But it's easy.
Yeah. Well, what's your advice? Let's
I would
give everyone
say
your best
one step at a time. If you a person that never you like color but feel like you could never wear color, or you feel like you're too old for color, or you haven't got the right shape, I would say just go for it.
Mm,
Buy a colourful piece or an accessory or something,
mm.
even if it's as simple as a pair of earrings, and wear them
Yeah.
and see how it makes you feel.
Yeah, because once you get that hit, right, it's hard to go back.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like you, I have my days where it's tracksuit pants and it's all black, but it feels weird now for me to wear all black or, you know, a white top and plain bottoms or something. Like I just, yeah, it's not, my style has evolved so much over the years that at least there has to be at least some kind of huge pop of color, and that's normally earrings for me if I'm not wearing colorful, you know, a
Yeah.
dress or something. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. So I was going to ask you about your inspiration for different designs. So you said before about you know, you think your designs are whimsical and obviously they're lots of color. Um, and from what I can see, there's a lot of nature or little elements of nature as well. Do you draw inspiration from things you see or like from photos or places you've been? Where do you get your inspo?
I do very much think my inspiration is an expression of me,
Yeah.
and it comes from my experiences. In particular, a lot of that is nature. Like I grew up on a bush property,
Hmm.
and but then I've continued with my kids. We go on bushwalks, and when you like go on bushwalks with the kids,
Hmm.
as they're younger and littler and down low, they're curious about the world. So you start being more
Hmm.
curious about the world and you see those tiny details more and you stop more because it's not all greens and browns out there. There's little pops of color and you find the little flowers. And the
Yeah.
flowers have so much detail and they're different shapes and sizes. And I think it just all goes in there somewhere and has to come out on paper at points in time. And then another big part is like color. I've always been inspired by color, but then
Hmm.
playing with color. And like I'm really drawn to uh, vintage and retro style as
Yeah.
well. Like there's a mix of that in there, but
Hmm.
then it's almost got this little modern hint as well because I don't know, it's just like you play with color, you play with nature and the way the leaves move and yeah, it's the little details.
Little details, yeah. And actually, a lot of your designs do have lots of little details. Like it's funny. So both of us are wearing the watermelon rainbows print today,
Unintentional,
which
it
was
just happened.
totally unintentional, but it's got some really cute little details. So at some point, I might put this podcast, some of the clips somewhere, but for now, it's just you guys listening. But you know, it's got little like even little shadows around the clouds and it's got little water drops. And I just, you know, I love it. I love all of the little intricate details that you can get with art, you know. It's art.
Yeah, I find it very hard not to add like I can't
Yeah.
not add details. I've always
Okay.
been a detail sort of person.
Yeah.
And the more I found my style, it's like those little details have to go and they make my artwork. They make me who I am and my
Yeah.
expression.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. You can clearly
It's
tell.
like it doesn't feel like the art's complete without it.
Yep. Yep. No, I get that. So how do you find your style? Even when it comes to art and fashion, because I'd love to hear both sides of that. Like, how on earth do you find your style? Um, so let's start with art. So has that evolved from, oh, you said you started with the darks. Um, Still though, looking back at those darks, I can still see a clear style for you. It's still
Yeah. It's
similar
interesting because
similar
like
patterns and colors, right?
yeah. I guess it's a lot of creating lots and lots of art. A lot of
Yeah.
that is it. And then you get drawn to certain colors and
Mm.
things. Like I create color palettes.
Mhm.
And then I'll try and use those color palettes in different ways over and over. But then I have to move on from that. I have to add an extra new colors and things. So it's like I can't stay one particular color and have my whole art that color. I think because
Yeah.
I need to have it all in there, but not. every single piece in every artwork, because then that becomes too overpowering.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, definitely my art style has evolved in the sense that I've grown, but it's interesting you saying how you can see that it's my art
Yeah.
back then.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's clear elements. I don't know, like with every artist, you can definitely see there's clear elements that make, like yours I don't know, something to do with your lines and the colors and the shapes that you use, I think, is for me. I
Yeah,
recognize it as a Rosie Browett print. And other artists are super abstract and use lots of, splotches and color patches and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, yours is very detailed and um intricate, and I love it. The lines and the shapes are really beautiful in your artwork.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've definitely like over time I've changed in like I create now. Like when I created my ducks, I did I there's memories of when I first did my ducks. I was doing everything on paper. It was pencil outlined by black pen,
Yeah.
basically. And I was pregnant with my first, and my husband would be off at work. And I would be sitting on, he'll come home to me sitting on the bed, and I have pencil shavings all over and around me because I had sat there all day just drawing these little duck characters.
That's cool.
Um, yeah, but then later on, when you have kids, you don't have the time to spread out little things, especially with really little kids, because
Mm,
they want to grab everything. So then I started using the iPad and working out how to use Procreate and the Apple Pencil, which is another journey in itself, because if you're used to using paper and
mm,
things, doing something digital and drawing with a digital pencil can feel weird at first. But then, like anything, if you practice it over and over, and whether it's
mm.
your art or your skills,
Yep.
you get to a point one day where you're realizing, where you go back to paper and you start double tapping the paper because you wanted to delete something, or you start pinching it because you want to zoom in. Um, and then I think in my journey now, like my kids are a little bit older now. Like there's the youngest is 5,
Yeah.
but they see me doing my art in the pockets of time that I get,
Yeah.
in the margins of my life, and
Yep.
they see me doing my art, but they know that mummy's an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's great, because it's not like mummy's just mummy. She does the housework and she helps me with my homeschool, because I homeschool all my kids.
Yep.
Um, or yeah, they know that, oh, mummy's doing some art,
And that's her job, I guess, isn't it?
and that's her job. And they
Yeah.
know that mummy's got cool patterns on her clothes, and that mummy creates these cards or these tea towels, and
Yeah.
they get excited. And I'm watching now my 5-year-old and my 7-year-old and my 10-year-old. They're all creative in some sort of way. Like my 5-year-old, he gets out his pencils and draws up these his own animal characters holding
Oh.
umbrellas and things. Like he drew this elephant the other day holding an umbrella in the rain, and I'm like, that's because he's seen mummy do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then they're like they're all boys, but they're all crafty and creative,
That's
and
awesome.
I think it's awesome that they see how I can express myself with art, and
Mm.
they feel comfortable doing that too.
Yep. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. And I've seen one of your boys has been creating little crocheted things. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had to learn crochet to teach him.
Yeah.
so, so it's like he's like, I want to be able to do crochet, mummy. So I sat down and I learned how to do some like the basic crochet stitch, and
Yep.
he's in the process of creating like little crochet garments for his soft toys, which
Oh,
is
that's
quite
awesome.
neat. Like he's created a little cape, like little arm warmers and a little cape, and he's put a little button. And then we worked out how to do stars the other day. But it's neat that he feels comfortable in doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. That's so cool. See, you're a good role model, rubbing off, bringing the arts, arts
I
to the
try.
kids as well, next generation of the Browetts, all right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, awesome. Well, we're running out of time, but what I was going to ask you, so this podcast is going to be all about color and expressing, expressing ourselves through fashion and through art and makeup and earrings and all of those kind of things. So I want to ask each of my guests a question. And the question is, what is your favorite color? And which color are you drawn to the most that makes you feel confident or it inspires you or it makes you feel just super happy wearing it? And why?
Yeah, I was having to think about this. Um, like I love all color,
Mm.
but I think a color that has popped up throughout my life has definitely been pink. And it's a bright pink. Sometimes
Yep.
it can be a like a pastel pink, but mostly pink because my gum boots were pink.
Uh-huh.
But then
Like,
I I have several t-shirts in pink colors.
mhm.
And then yeah, I've got this other pink, like another artist. I bought some of her things. I got this pink lunch bag, and it's just like pink just keeps on popping up.
Okay.
And I think I find that fun. And on the pink, whole pink idea, back when because I grew up on a river, which is another story in itself. I grew
Yes.
up on a river, so I was in and out of boats. But at the time, I was in my early 20s and I was working in in a cafe. So I had to row to work everywhere, and I built my own dory with the
Oh,
help of someone else.
cool. You
So,
had to
but
row to work. I
I
love that.
did. I had to row to work, but
Yeah.
you could choose. He said when it came to choosing the colors for your like your dory, you have like the white on the outside, and then you have the nice wooden gunnels. But I was like, what do I want inside? And I picked this bright pink.
Okay.
And at the time, the guy was like, "Oh, okay, bright pink." But I did bright pink inside, and then I painted these just outlined black florals
Yeah.
all through it. And I was known as the girl with the pink gumboots rolling around in the pink in the pink dory. I would roll off to work, and everyone would see me go, "Oh,
Yes,
like
Rosie.
I was such a smiler and everything." And I just loved the energy, and it made me feel happy.
Yeah,
Made me feel happy. And I
that's
think pink
awesome.
has always, at some point, come back into my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I am also a pink girl. I don't know. There's so many colors to choose from. But yes, pink
There
definitely
is, yeah,
is something about pink that screams happiness, right? And it's got so many different shades. There's different tones. You can have your soft pinks, which
yeah.
are a bit more, calm, soothing, bright, sparkly pink, hot pink, Barbie
But
pink.
then it's fun then putting it with other colors. Like I've
Yeah.
always loved playing around with different shades of green with pink. Like you not
Yes.
don't often think of green and pink going together,
Mm.
but I play around with it and it works and
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yep. Good combo. Oh, thanks so much, Rosie. So before we go, where can people find you or connect with you if they want to follow along? Because Rosie also, we haven't touched on this. We're going to have to do another episode. Rosie's also traveling around in a caravan with her family at the moment, and she's at a family member's house at the moment. But you'll be able to follow along her adventures. So where can they find you?
Big place to find me at the moment is on Rosie Browett Designs, which is on Instagram.
Hmm.
That's where I post most things. I do have a little Facebook page, which crosses over. And I've got a newsletter out. So if you jump onto my Instagram and follow the link, you usually can join up.
Awesome.
And I'm working on a website.
One thing at a
There's
time,
always
right?
something to do.
I
Yes.
know it never ends. Oh, that's awesome. Well, we can pop some links in the show notes once I figure out how to do show notes because I'm going to put show notes in the podcast. But yeah, we can pop some links there as well for all of your places they can find you.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, Rosie, for chatting with me today.
No, thank you. I hope everyone has a bright and sunshiny day.
Thank you. We'll chat soon.